I'm not even going to try to start this week off with something funny.
You're not?
No, we're going to get right into it. We're going to jump into this thing, and we're going to get going. Hello, folks. Welcome back to
Sorry
the Laugh.
we missed you last week.
I'm not sorry. I'm sorry we didn't do it, but the reasoning behind it.
Oh, we had a good reason.
We had a great reason. So, and that will be the topic of the show this week. So we'll get into that here in a little bit. I feel like, this is your host, Jake Ruble.
Hi, this is Chia.
Chia?
Ruble.
Oh my gosh, congratulations to us.
Thank you.
We're married.
Yes.
Oh.
I feel like it happened quite a while ago.
Yeah, sometimes surprises just happen. Quite like what is sitting on your lap right now.
Yeah.
So, and we'll get into this in the topic of the show, but I feel like some housekeeping should be taken care of up front.
Yes.
You're going to hear some snorting. You're going to hear maybe some tooting, a little gibberish maybe. Fear not, I'm still sober. It is, we have a baby.
We do not have a baby. We have a baby visitor.
We have a baby visitor. We went on vacation, and we came back from vacation, and we were blessed with just a little baby in the house.
Oh, there she is. She says hi.
She says hi. So, we won't really get into the details of it, but
we do have a visitor.
We have a visitor. We have a baby that is with us that needed a little quiet home for a little bit, and until they can go back to their parents,
to wherever babies come
from. Yeah, so we're
the magical land of where babies come from.
She always says that she wants to be like foster parents, and now it's kind of happening. It was like thrust upon us. So, yeah, I mean, I was talking to somebody about it earlier, though, and they were like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad for you guys. And I'm like, I feel okay.
Yeah.
It's not stressing me out. I don't feel horrible about it or anything like that. I wish we would have been home so that way your mom wouldn't have had to deal, with being just the only one for a while, but then your sister jumped in and helped out.
Yeah, she wasn't alone.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, I'm just happy that this little sweetheart has, people that will just, oh, yeah, sure, come on.
We'll just hang out with you.
Just come hang out with us for a few weeks, and everything's going to be okay, and we love you. So that's what's going on with us.
Somewhat. That was a surprise to us, just as much as you all, so.
Yeah, we were literally...
Surprise!
That's so funny when you did that in the last podcast. Surprise! We were on our way, like literally on the road. I think we were in Tennessee, and we got a phone call, and it was just like, "Hey, are you guys on your way back?" And we were like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Okay, well, now we're gonna let you know the tragic event that happened this week. We didn't want to ruin your vacation, but just heads up, there's a baby at your house waiting for you when you get home." So yeah, we just laughed, and we're blessed. So it's just another it's an extra blessing.
Yeah. Just a heads up, you might hear some noises.
If you hear some noises, I'm just gonna blame it all on the baby. I'm just gonna say it from now on. Even whenever there's not a baby here, I'm just gonna be like, "Did you hear that? It was a baby.
It was a baby.
Just a little baby. Just a little baby going on."
People will be like, "Why is there constantly like babies at their house, but they don't have? They didn't have a baby?"
All right, hey guys, guess what? I have some shows coming up.
Yeah.
Mark your calendars. Jake could be coming to a town near you.
All right, I have some really fun shows coming up. I'm very excited. Not that the shows that I've had in the past were not exciting. Maybe I should just let's go over the shows that I did before we left. So before we left, the last shows that I did a weekend at the Comedy Attic. It was my first time doing anything other than like an open mic or the contest at the Comedy Attic. I did a guest spot on my friend Dusty Slay's show there. Mm-hmm. And it was 2 shows Friday night, 2 shows Saturday night. I had friends show up to all of them. A couple of blessed ones showed up, so thank you to the blessed ones who showed up. And sorry if we didn't really get a chance to talk that much. It was kind of chaotic, but man, I had so much fun.
Good.
I mean, it was just...
I gotta go to the 2 shows.
Yeah, on Saturday.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, and we got to go out to lunch with Dusty and Hannah, his wife, who now I think it's come, like everybody has talked about it, that she is having a baby.
Yay!
So, next month, I believe she's due, so in the next few weeks.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, so, we got to hang out with them, and I love them. Like, they're our kind of people.
Yeah.
I had some friends
Very
from
good
high
people.
school. Well, I say high school. They went to high school. I had some friends from middle school, I guess. I dropped out.
There you go. That's more like it. You say that a lot, as if you went to high school.
I know. I did a year and a day.
I did a year and a day. You sound like you went to prison. I did a year and a day. Like,
I went one day my sophomore year, and the teacher was just like, if you're not going to take this class serious, you might as well go to sleep. And I was like, I'll see your sleep and raise you one and leave and never come back. So, but yeah, I had some childhood friends came to the show on Friday and Saturday. Mm-hmm. But on Friday night, I had quite a few people show up, quite a few friends. And then afterwards, they got to kind of talk to Dusty a little bit, and I introduced him. And after I heard Dusty on his podcast, he was just like, yeah, Jake's friends showed up, and they were basically like the kind of people I grew up with. Oh, no. Which is what I told them, because they were
Dusty.
like, well, I told my friends, they were like, you think, how is he? Is he pretty cool? I'm like, dude, if he grew up in the same town as us, he just would have been one of us.
Yeah.
Like, 100%.
Yeah.
We're the same. We're cut from the same cloth.
Mellow and chill.
Yeah.
And fun.
Yeah, just a great guy. So that was great that they got to meet him, and it was fun because it was like, the first like big local show that I was actually put on. Like, I've been on some great shows like up north, and then I've been kind of around the country now, and like not around the country, but like East Coast, South. I don't know, around here.
East Coast, South.
Whatever.
Okay.
I've been on some decent shows in a few states.
Yeah.
But like nothing that like a big group of people could conveniently come to. Mm-hmm. So that was pretty cool that they were able to come to this show. So we had a blast. I loved it. We walked around. We took Dusty and Hannah around Bloomington a little bit to like show them some of the shops, and it was just fun. Like, I just had it was like the perfect way, because we did that and then we left for vacation the next day. Mm-hmm. And again, that's the tots. So we'll get into that later. But it was great. And then so some shows that are coming up. If you missed those shows and you want to see me, I guess. I don't know. That's a fun way of saying it. I just want to see you. I just want to see. You don't have to listen to my comedy. Just show up, wait in the car until the show's over, and then we can talk afterwards. But buy your tickets. So, April 25th, which is, I think, this next coming Sunday. So I think it's next Sunday. So April 25th, I will be in Indianapolis at Black Circle. That is the Sunday show. It's a free show, I believe.
Oh, nice.
And I looked at the lineup. I'm really, really excited about the people that I'm on the show with. So, come out and see this show. It's going to be so good. So if you're around Indianapolis at all, come out to the show and, just support your boy. Once you just... And then April 30th, which I believe is not this Friday, but next Friday. That sounds right?
I don't know.
I don't know dates. Anyways, which somebody could be listening to this at a different time, so what's it matter? So, April 30th, I will be at Gutty's Comedy Club. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Well, you
it's
gotta
a Friday.
I know it's a Friday. I was saying it's next Friday.
Yeah.
Well, calm down, Ice Cube. April 30th, I'm going to be at Gutty's Comedy Club. I'm going to be featuring for Robert G. Lee. I'm really excited about that show. Robert G. Lee is a very funny comedian who I've not had the honor of meeting yet, so I'm really looking forward to that. And then getting into next month, May 14th, I will be in Evansville at Backstage Bar and Grill. I'm going to be there featuring for Andy Beningo, my buddy Andy, so we're both really happy to be there. I believe on both these shows that weekend, my buddy Evan Berg from Nashville is going to be on the shows with us. So.
Oh, nice.
I believe so. And I think Jeff Toy also might be on the shows. I can't remember. You know who's going to be on it for sure?
You.
Me. And then May 15th, so we got May 14th, Evansville, Backstage Bar and Grill. May 15th, I'm going to be in Washington, Indiana at the Antique Pub with Andy Beningo there, so featuring for him there.
Nice.
So that's going to be great. And then May 25th, I'm going to be at Zany's Comedy Club in Nashville, Tennessee. I'll be doing the Dusty Slay Grand Old Comedy Show.
Nice.
I'm very stoked about that. Thank you, Dusty, for that. I'm excited. That's going to be the first time I've done anything in Nashville, so that's going to be really great. And then I'm going to be there pretty much all week in Nashville. I have 2 more shows. I'm going to get the deets on those, and I'll tell you guys about that next week. But I'll be there for 2 more shows in Nashville, so those should be the May 27th.
You can't speak.
May 27th. I can't. People are used to it at this point.
Yard. What'd you say earlier? Yard road.
Oh yeah, don't blow your grass in the yard road. Yeah, I hate when people blow their grass in the road. I almost said in the yard again. It's like that's the yard. Keep the yard out of the road. So those are the upcoming shows that I've got going on. I'm stoked. I'm just happy. Like I love doing comedy. I'm so happy that I'm able to do it. Let's get into a little bit of reading.
Here's what we're reading.
Again, I have to just say thank you to our good friend Michael Rubadue, who is supplying us with all the music for this show.
Yes, thank you.
We just love it so much. And I got the opportunity to meet him. Him and his wife came to one of the shows at the Comedy Attic, one of the Dusty Slay shows. So we actually got to meet them for a moment and hooked them up with a little bit of merch. And it was like the least I could do. I mean, come on. Like I'm still in his debt.
Yeah.
I just feel like great people. I was excited. I think they're going to come to the show at Gutty's on the 30th.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So hopefully we have time. Maybe I can go get lunch with him or something like that before the show, or get something to eat after the show, or just hang out and talk to him for a little bit. So yeah, let's get into what we're reading. So first of all, calm down.
Yes.
No, calm down, because it's rude.
No,
and
it's not.
it is. It's a little rude.
No.
Yeah, it is, Chia. So last episode, I let you guys know I had just finished reading The Wizard of Lynn, and I had said that my next book was going to be Restaurant at the End of the Galaxy, I think is what it's called. Yeah, Restaurant at the End of the Galaxy, which is the second book in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So that was the plan. I took that on vacation with me, but like one of the first days that we were on vacation, we actually went to a bookstore, and I bought another Stephen King book.
You're into this one.
So here's the thing. I bought The Shining. My plan is I want to read every Stephen King book. I really do. And I've read quite a few of them. But that's my whole goal here, is that I'm going to move this mic. Because
Move it.
Well, it's away from you, so it's like I'm talking to the corner. It's just weird. Okay.
And I'm not in the corner.
You're not. No one puts baby in the corner. So I got The Shining. It was Stephen King's third book. I've read Salem's Lot, which I believe is his second book. I'll reread it though. I've never read Carrie, which is his first published book. So I'm still taking a break from the Dark Tower series. I'm on book 4 there. But here's the thing with the Dark Tower series. The Dark Tower series is not like a normal Stephen King book, because these are like more sci-fi fantasy books. They're not like thriller horror books. And going into this book, it instantly hooked me. I mean, it was just like instantly I was in. I'm talking about The Shining. Like as soon as I started reading it, I was into it. So I'm about halfway through it. I've been reading it for I think I started reading it Thursday or Friday, and it's Sunday. I think I started Thursday, right? Maybe Thursday.
Yes, Thursday.
Okay, so I started reading that Thursday. Here it's Sunday. I'm halfway through the book already, so I think I'm like 300
we went
pages.
Tuesday. That was Tuesday. We went.
Yeah, but I didn't start it.
Oh, okay.
That day, so then I probably started Wednesday. Irrelevant. It doesn't matter. So I'm really, really liking this. Now, I'll say this though. Before I started this book, I read Of Mice and Men. I've never read Of Mice and Men. Okay. Not only have I never read Of Mice and Men, I had no idea what this book was about. I bought it like probably 3 or 4 years ago, with the idea of this is classic literature. I should read this book.
Right.
And just one night I laid in bed. I read it in one day, and someone should have warned me.
I'm sorry. I didn't know that you had no idea what it was about.
Why is that even a story that we're supposed to read?
I don't know. Teaches you something?
What does it teach you? That your friends are going to betray you in the end?
Well, I don't know.
Okay, spoiler alert for Of Mice and Men if you've never seen it. I'm about to save you some tears.
Or don't listen in case you want to cry.
Okay, yeah. So I'll just talk about it for a few minutes. Okay, Of Mice and Men is this book about, it takes place in like around the Depression era or something like that. I think it's the 30s or 40s. It takes place around in there. Something. I'm not good with times or reading. So it takes place around that time. And there's these two guys who like they're traveling workers. Like they go from like ranch to ranch
Like farm
working.
hands.
Yeah, and they travel around and work. One of them is slow. Mm-hmm. He's a really big guy, but he's slow. That's okay to say, right? Isn't that how you say it?
I think so. I don't know.
Well, it's just one of those things.
I think it's just the R word we don't want to say.
Yeah, well, I'm not. I wouldn't.
Right.
So, anyways, so he's got,
Mental delays?
He's
Is
super.
That what you say?
I don't know. I know that he is a hard worker. He's a big guy, super hard worker, but he has some flaws in this situation. Like, no one knew how to deal with him properly, of course, and he accidentally kills a woman. Mm-hmm. Okay, her fault. Totally her fault.
Yeah.
She was a horrible person. It was her fault. Everything about it was her fault. She was like, he told her multiple times to leave him alone. She kept, being a jerk about stuff. And then she was like, my hair feels really good. You should feel how soft it is. So she's creeping on this guy, right? Well, and this fella, his name's Lenny, and he likes to feel things. He likes soft
stuff.
Yeah, he likes soft stuff. So when this lady's like, my hair's really soft, he's like, well, I want to check it out. So he starts feeling it, and then she freaks out about it. Even though she's like, touch my hair. And then he's like, oh, okay. And then he touches it, and then she's like, that's enough. But he freaked out because he's got this thing where if he gets scared, he just tenses up. Mm-hmm. So he basically tensed up and grabbed her hair. Well, then she starts flopping around and freaking out, and he doesn't want to get in trouble, so he's trying to ask her to be quiet, and he just puts his giant hand over her face and smothers her. Okay? Is it Lenny's fault? No.
No.
It's not Lenny's fault. He's a sweetheart. He just wanted to feel something soft. The soft thing screamed. He asked it not to. A little rough.
A little
you
rough.
know? And then do you know what happens, Chia?
I do know what happens.
His best friend kills him.
Yeah, but it was either that or people who didn't love him or a lynch mob or...
Here's my thing. All right?
Yeah.
Let's play this scenario out.
Okay.
Okay? You're Lenny.
Okay.
And I'm George.
Okay.
And you just smothered this lady who sucks. Mm-hmm. Okay? I know where you're hiding. Mm-hmm. And I have a gun because I just stole it. I'm going to go to you, and we're going to leave together.
Aww.
And then when the guys come at you, I'm going to be like, oh, I found him. And they're going to be like, really? And then I kill those guys. Aww. And then me and you escape together because you're my Lenny.
Aww.
Okay? It's
but George.
Don't. I'm not ready for it.
Okay.
I was laying in bed at 1 o'clock in the morning, I think, when I finished. It was like midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning.
Did you?
Did you? Bawled like
I knew
a
you did.
baby. I was just like, because I text you.
Yeah.
And I was like, as soon as I was done reading, I texted you. I was just like, I just finished with Mice and Men, and you were like, I'm so sorry. Like, that's what you said. And I was like, why didn't you tell me? And you're like, I thought you'd read it before.
I thought you had
No,
seen,
dude.
like, I thought you just knew. I thought that was something, a common thing people knew.
It probably is, but again, 1 year and 1 day of high school. So by the time, I feel like by the time that they were like, read this book, I was like, nah. Because I wasn't even there.
It was probably something you had to read in 7th grade, and you're like, oh.
No, see, I will be honest. In school, reading assignments, I usually read them. That's
Yeah,
whenever I read
too.
the Gary Paulson books. That's when I read the Giver books. Like, that's when I read those, was in school.
Yeah.
Not the Giver books, but
Just
the
the
first
first
one.
one.
Because I didn't realize there was
Yeah.
more until
We've talked
we were
about
together.
this before.
Yeah.
I don't know if other schools did this, but Edgewood in the junior high, there would be like this, every year they'd have like this book challenge. Your English teacher would tell you about it, and you had to read like 20 books. And I usually attempted it, but in...
Did you get like a free personal pan pizza?
No, I'll tell you what I got. So...
I think we got like a free personal pan pizza or something.
In 8th grade, I did it. So I would have to read a book, and then I'd
You
have
did
to
it
do.
in 8th grade?
No, I'm not you.
Oh.
I read 20 books. I think there was probably 30 to choose from or something like that. You could only do 2 audiobooks. The rest you had to actually read. And I loved it. I just liked the idea of having a list that I could go through.
Right.
And
yeah, you still do that.
at the end, yeah, I do.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to choose the list usually. At the end, I got I think $25 gift certificate for Barnes & Noble.
Oh, dope.
It was dope. However, my freshman year of school, I don't know why, but part of the stuff we needed for that English class was we had to get a thesaurus, a
so you
dictionary,
had to use
and one
that
other
money.
thing. And I felt bad. I don't know why. I felt bad about the dumbest things.
You felt bad that your mom had to spend money on
Yes.
school.
So I bought it myself with my
Yeah.
gift certificate.
You're so sweet.
I think it was probably $30 or $35. And I was like, well, we can use this towards it, and then you don't have to spend that much. And looking back, my mom was a nurse, and she got every month a Social Security check from my dad passing away that obviously she used towards the house payment and stuff. So now looking back, I'm like, why was I so worried for her? She was fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay.
I don't know why I was like that.
So, so I read of Mice and Men and cried a whole lot. And now I'm reading The Shining. So I'm halfway through The Shining, and let me be perfectly clear about The Shining. For anyone who has watched the movie and not read the book, forget the movie. Just read the book. I'm only halfway through it, and I can already tell, this is
Well, Stephen
way
King wasn't
better.
happy with the movie
No,
either.
Stephen King was not happy because there's no depth to Jack Torrance in the movie. You start the movie off by Jack Nicholson portraying him as a crazy person.
Right.
So then you're just the whole time you're like, oh, he's just a crazy guy. That's what he is. And now, now that I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, he's not a crazy person.
Yeah.
Something crazy happens to him. So that's one thing I don't like about it, but I'm really, really enjoying it. I'll finish it in the next couple days for sure. Okay, Chia, go through your entire list.
I don't have an entire list.
Oh, I know there's a lot of them.
When we spoke to y'all 2 weeks ago, I had reached my goal of 15 out of 15 books. I'm currently now at 18 books for the year. So I was getting ready to start The Magic of Oz. That's the 13th book of the Oz series. Just everything I expected. Great, great book. And then I read Better, which was another book by Atul Gawande. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, so I'm sorry. Better was a very, very good book. Just really talking about how in the medical profession we can always be better, and we don't need to get spun up in this web of our own pride of this is the way I've always done it. It's always worked for me. We're going to keep doing it, because if you are involved in medicine, you know that we make advances continuously, and we find out new things continuously about the disease processes, infections, how just to care for patients better. I mean, it was even talking about got into the death penalty, and how I never thought about this. I always thought it was crazy. I assume a doctor is the one who's pushing the medication, then calling time of death. And I thought, wow, that's so weird, because they made an oath to first do no harm. Turns out they're not. They do have a doctor present, but the doctors monitor the convicts' heart rate, but they stand on a wall on the other side and just watch a monitor. Someone else pushes the drugs.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No.
Well, there's an executioner.
Yeah.
That's a whole job. So tell us, I'll get into that in a second.
So, but then after that, the doctor can say what the monitor is saying, if it's flatline or something, and then someone else calls time of death. So the doctor is they are just monitoring, but they are not. But it's this whole ethics issue, and I never really thought about that before. But no, I didn't know that. And then I read the 14th Oz book because I was like, okay, now I got to read something happy and fun. But that actually made me a little sad because L. Frank Baum wrote that 3 months before he passed away.
Right.
And in the publisher's note, it said that he has gone on to take the Oz stories to all the little child souls that lived before they were able to read them. And I was just like, oh my God.
Oh yeah, you cried. Like
I
you
did.
told you're like, I almost cried reading this, and I was like, what to say? Then you read it, but when you read it out loud, you did cry.
Yeah.
What did you choose? A sweet thing. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
And it just really goes in line with his style.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
the kind of guy we think he is based on his writing.
Right. I can never talk to him about it, so.
Maybe one day.
Yeah, maybe.
So is that where you're at with reading?
So, yes, and right now I am currently reading Checklist Manifesto, which is by Atul Gawande. With this little curveball life has thrown us, I haven't read today. But I can
It's a
see
cute little curveball.
Yeah, it is. I'll be through it in the next couple of days, and then I will go on to read an Anne Rice book. So
Nice.
What were you going to say about the executions?
So that just it ties in perfectly to what we've been watching.
Oh,
we don't have a bumper for what we've been watching yet, but
but we've been watching. We have.
and it's spooky.
What? Okay,
It's
so
always spooky
I have
stuff.
to go back. So months and months ago, I mean, maybe even a year ago, I don't know how long ago, we were talking about scary movies and how I did not like to watch them. I didn't like gory movies. I did not like movies where people did not get their comeuppance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I was steadfast on this. That's all
Converted.
we do now. You converted me.
Yeah.
And now I'm just... there's still certain things I won't watch. I won't
Sure.
watch Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah. But you won't watch Nightmare on Elm Street because of a specific time that movie scared you. Like the time that we watched those back to back, and I was a jerk to you that whole week, and I kept making you think that you were sleeping and I was Freddy Krueger.
I mean, you weren't making me think that. I'm not that stupid, but it was just the way you sounded.
Do you want to go there?
Dude, go there.
Okay,
I
so
knew I wasn't asleep, but I didn't know you weren't a psycho. I'd only been dating you for like a year and a half at that point, so...
We weren't married?
No, we weren't married.
Okay, so you married me after this, which makes you way dumb.
There was one time you did the Freddy voice after we were married because we were living in the camper. That's right, we lived in a camper.
Look at us now.
With no toilet and no electricity. We had to go in his mom's house for that stuff.
But we're killing it now.
We live in the garage. In my mom's house.
I pay the bills. Okay, let's be frank. You pay the bills.
Shirley, don't call me Frank.
All right, don't call me Shirley. So one time I scared Chia so bad because she was making us sandwiches.
No, we had...
No.
What had we been doing?
We had binge watched all the Nightmare on Elm Streets.
Yes, because in the early 2000s, this wonderful thing happened where all the VHSs were...
Okay, first of all, it wasn't a wonderful thing that happened.
No, they weren't getting rid of movie stores. It was VHSs they were getting rid of.
They were selling all the VHSs because they were converted completely to DVDs, and we were like, well, we still watch VHSs.
For like 50 cents.
25 cents.
Some of them were,
Yeah. So we went in and basically in 2 counties, we went to every single movie store
Hundreds.
in 2
We had
counties.
hundreds.
And spent, I mean, we would go in and we'd spend like $50 or $60 and walk out with like almost an entire movie store collection of VHSs. And I still have like 3 totes full of VHSs.
Yeah, they'll make
I'll
you
never
come
get rid of
back.
them. I don't care. Like, why get rid of it? It still works. Like, if I plug a VCR, I can still watch it. Is it as crystal clear? No, but for those movies, I have the movies I want to watch crystal clear on DVD. But at the same time, if I watch Friday the 13th, I almost feel like it's better on VHS.
Yeah.
Because it gives it that creepy, campy feel.
Well, when it's remastered too, it just almost doesn't look right because
It
that's
depends
not
on
the
what
way
it
it's
is.
shot.
Yeah. So, anyways, Chia's making sandwiches. I'm sitting on the counter because she was scared and asked me to go in there, and I have my head just down, like dangling. And I'm sitting there, and she's talking to me, and I'm not replying at all. And she talks for a while, and then she
Because I'm scared, so I'm trying just to have a normal conversation.
She just stops, and she looks at me, and she's like, why aren't you answering me? And I'm just like, my arms are dangling over, my head is dangling down, and I'm just sitting on the counter. And she's like, Jake, why aren't you talking to me? And then she got like, she looked like she'd knelt down and looked up at my face to like look at me to see what I was doing, and then like slowly reached up to me to like shake me. And whenever she did, I just like, I looked at her in my eyes, I got like bug-eyed, and I was like, you fell asleep.
Such a jerk.
And she fell on the floor and covered her ears and started screaming. The funniest thing ever.
I hate you.
I made a promise.
I hate you.
No, I made a promise.
Hold on.
I haven't done it.
We watched like the first 3 movies that night. The next night, we decided to watch more. And I forget which night it was, but there's one of them where this girl is in a shower.
She doesn't even die.
Okay, you need to knock it off right now. I'm talking, and I'm going to tell the world how mean you are. So it was one of those showers that's like kind of built into the wall, and it has the door that closes. And she's in the shower, and the shower fills up with water, and she starts to drown. Well, guess who needed a shower? And guess who had a shower like that? We did. So I asked my boyfriend to come in the bathroom with me while I took a shower. Most boyfriends, that's not a big deal. They would love to do it. My boyfriend, however, comes in and shuts the lights off and walks out. So I get scared and I jump out and turn the lights on. He does this 2 more times. So a total of 3 times. On the 3rd time, I'm rinsing my hair out on the sink, and he laughs, and I was like, no, I'm done. And he laughs and says, no, really, I won't do it anymore. And I said, no, I'm done. And I was almost done with him.
You married me still. So it's okay to do those things. I won in the end.
Did you?
Yeah, because I gotta do that.
Maybe you've been asleep this whole time. See what's gonna happen next.
I'm dreaming.
Welcome to prime time.
Calm down. Don't get so close to the mic. I think you just blew it up. Oh, man. I don't even remember where we're going with this. Oh, what we've been watching. We've been watching.
So, but I was saying, like, you converted me, so I'm sorry I'm a big liar, and now
No, we've talked about this before, though. Like, I think the reason that I'm watching so many of these movies, and I don't watch...
It's been like a year.
Yeah, but I don't really watch a lot of modern horror movies. I'll watch some, but I don't watch a lot of them. There's something about... When I was growing up, I watched so many 80s horror movies and loved them. And my aunt, like, whenever she would babysit me, she would just watch them the whole time that she was watching me. So, I don't know, I just loved them. So now, like, going back and watching them, and then watching all the ones that I never got a chance to watch. And, like, I'm just really, really into it right now. So, first of all, I bought the entire series of Tales from the Crypt. I think there's 7 seasons. I started watching the first season right before we left, and then I left and I let my good buddy Chris borrow it while we're out of town, and I texted him as soon as we got back, and he's bringing them back to me. So I watched some of those. Man, it's so good. But what I was saying is Tales from the Crypt, like the very first episode, thing on Tales from the Crypt is about an executioner. So that's what I was saying. Like, his job was but it was electric chair. Like, he was the executioner. So that it just made me think of that. So I'll tell you some cool things that we've been watching, though.
Yeah.
We've been watching these documentaries. Guess what the documentaries are about?
Horror movies?
Yes. So they're about 80s horror movies. There's a couple of them. Like, there's one that we watched. I'm going to pull it up because if you are even a little bit interested in this stuff, this is a really, really fantastic one to watch. Like, I loved this thing. So it is called In Search of Darkness. It's 4.5 hours long, but it is all about 80s horror movies. It's about special effects in the 80s. It's about just the whole genre in the 80s. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I highly recommend that. We really, really enjoyed watching it. And then there's another one called Smoke and Mirrors. That is a story of Tom Savini. I always knew I liked Tom Savini. So Tom Savini was like the main practical effects makeup artist in... That doesn't go on there, Chia. it just goes in her crib.
Well, not in her crib, not like she's sleeping.
Well, it goes on the thing. Anyways, Tom Savini, he was like the main practical effects makeup artist in the 80s. He actually did the first Friday the 13th movie, and also I believe the fourth Friday the 13th movie. He did the first Dawn of the Dead movie. He did so many movies. I think Maniac was another one. Like he just did so many movies, and he also is an actor, a stuntman, and just an all-around fantastic guy. Like, so it was just his story.
He's a cool guy.
Oh my gosh, just like truly an American dream story. It is real. Even if you don't even care about horror movies, but you just like the whole American dream idea, watch this. So again, that one is called Smoke and Mirrors, the story of Tom Savini. It was really good. And then Birth of the Living Dead was another one that we watched, which is all about the making of Night of the Living Dead. Which, if you like Walking Dead or any zombie stuff nowadays, you should at least watch Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
Because they all kind of stem from there. So, and then there was another one that we watched called Why Horror. That was pretty good. It was just about like why people like horror movies and stuff like that. So, we watched those. Then we watched, what did we watch? We watched, we started watching something on Shudder TV that's called, what's it called? Joe Bob's Last Drive-In, or The Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs.
Something like that.
It's kind of cool, though.
Yeah.
So it's basically this guy who does, like, commentary for 80s slasher movies. And I don't know if they're all 80s, but the ones that we watched so far were just 80s.
It's kind of like
horror movies.
Elvira's old show.
It definitely has that vibe to it. I like it because it's cool because he'll, like, talk up front. And I don't really care for all the stuff he says. Some of the stuff I'm like, all right, I'm getting a little bored. But then, like, it'll get into the movie, and then he takes a couple, like, intermissions during the movie, and sometimes we'll have, like, actors from the movie come on, or, like, writers or directors or something, and he'll interview them while he's talking. I don't know, it's just really cool. Mm-hmm. So that's on Shudder TV on Amazon Prime.
We also watched the series Creep Show on Shudder TV.
Yeah, that was
really cool. I like the anthology series.
Yeah, anthologies are my favorites.
Yeah.
Like Twilight Zone.
Well, that's why we're like Monster of the Week type of people. That's why like we love Supernatural, but we would get burnt out on it if they like kept up with the same story. Whereas when they would go long stretches with just doing Monster of the Week, we were really
same thing with like Smallville and Buffy the Vampire Slayer and like all those movies where or those TV shows where they would do like a Monster of the Week. X-Files. That's another one.
Oh yeah. But then when they'd get hung up on like one like super big baddie, and you're like, oh, we get it.
So Creepshow actually came out. The original Creepshow movie came out a little bit before Tales from the Crypt. I think Creepshow the Creepshow movie was like one of the first kind of anthology style movies like this, and it was Stephen King and George A. Romero, which is of course Night of the Living Dead. So they are the kind of the guys who did the first Creepshow movie. Then there was this. I think there was two more. I know there's a second one for sure. That was back in the day, and I think there was a more recent one that's Creepshow 3. But Shudder has a TV show that is Creepshow, and I think it was either 2019 or 2020. I believe it's 2019. The first season came out, and then the second season just now came out.
Yeah.
So we watched the first season. And then I watched the first couple episodes of the second season. It is really fantastic. There's a couple stinkers, like any other anthology show.
Right.
But there's also some really fun ones and really cool ones.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're talking like, 15, 20, 30-minute clips, basically, of like, it's short stories.
It's like a half-hour show, and you get 2 shows in that.
Yeah, it's just short stories, and I love short stories.
Or 2 stories in that.
Yeah, it's super fantastic. So highly recommend that. And then we started watching, what's it called? Godzilla vs. King Kong?
Versus Kong.
Godzilla vs. Kong.
Yeah.
So we started watching that tonight, but we got halfway through it, and then it was bedtime for the kids, so we'll finish watching that tomorrow. So that's kind of what we've been reading and what we've been watching.
Yeah.
I think it's probably time for us to do a little mental health check-in.
No mental health.
And now it's time for a mental health check-in with Chia and Jake. Or Jake and Chia, depending on who wants their name first.
I think it's pretty safe to say that our mental health is so good right now.
It's very good right now, despite curveballs.
Yeah, but you know, I'm just looking at the positive side of things. You know, even with that, it's just like, you know, there's a little hiccup in somebody's road, and we'll just do our best to burp them.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Literally. No, but honestly, my mental health has been really good. I will say this about, I'm going to use our mental health check-in to actually talk about somebody else's mental health.
Okay.
I'm not going to go to any details about this whatsoever, other than to say somebody did something, and I don't know if I talked about this before in the show. I had someone I knew in school reach out to me a while back, a couple weeks ago, and was having a really hard time, and I didn't realize how hard it was until the conversation started going, and basically it kind of came out that he was suicidal. I'm not a professional,
Right.
obviously.
Yeah.
You know, kind of the reason that I've had some issues with with church, and the kind of reason why I backed off from church a little bit was because I
You
was
were being treated like a professional.
and I
you're
wasn't.
not.
Yeah, I'm not a professional. Some stuff happened, but I want to help people. I love people, and I really do want to help people as much as possible. So, you know, I talked to the guy. I gave him some words of encouragement, and I did the best thing I could possibly do. I contacted a mental health professional that I personally know. I text him. You know, I text my friend and said, well, the mental health professional. I sent him a text and said, hey, this is what's going on. What should my next step be? I would like to connect you to. And he goes, here's my cell phone number. Have him text me right now. That is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that. So I got a hold of my friend. I said, hey, here's his number. Send him a text. Schedule an appointment. Go see him. You know, I don't mind talking with you, but you need to talk to somebody about the way you're feeling right now that has the tools necessary to actually help you get better. Like you need to heal.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be able to be that guy. So, you know, I prayed about it, and I love the guy, and I gave him the number, and he went and seen him. He only went and seen him once, though. That's the only issue. I think he only went to go see him one time, and I encouraged him to go back. I was like, look, it's not a one-time fix.
Done,
yeah, like you need to continue to go see him.
Yeah.
Schedule, even though like you went and you feel better now because of going. You need to keep going, so that way you can develop the tools necessary to help yourself in these situations.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to take this moment to tell everyone, if you are struggling with any kind of depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, or suicidal ideations, even like if you're just thinking about it, reach out to somebody.
Yeah.
Just make a phone call. And I know it's hard sometimes. It's hard to take that step to say, okay, I do need some help. Or, you know, a lot of times I think people think, well, I'm okay. You know, like these are just thoughts that I'm having, but I'm okay. So many people are way worse than I am.
You shouldn't have to suffer with those thoughts either. And that is a form of suffering. It's mental anguish. And it's not, just because someone's problems seem worse than yours doesn't mean they are.
Yeah, we don't know what's going on with other people. Here's what I'm going to say, is that I struggled with it really, really bad because I hated who I was.
Yeah.
Had nothing to do with anything other than the fact that I just didn't like me. I didn't. I wasn't living my truth. I wasn't living up to my own personality. I just wasn't me. I wasn't walking in my own shoes. I was letting someone else put the shoes on me and tie my shoelaces and everything.
Yeah.
And when I did get to the point to where I wanted to kill myself, and I am going to say, you know, because we're very honest on this show.
Yeah.
I had a gun in my hand, and Chia talked it out of my hand.
Yeah.
Literally was going to kill myself. And I looked at myself in the mirror after that, and I thought, if I hate this guy so much that I want to kill him, then let this guy die.
Yeah.
And metaphorically, that's what I did.
Yeah.
I stopped being that person.
Yeah. You have to look at the things and you're like, that make you unhappy, and make some changes. If even something simple, if your family makes you unhappy, kind of look and say, what can I change for me and my family to make us happy as a family unit?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, for us, it was just...
It was just a situation we put ourselves in that we just removed ourselves from.
Yeah.
Sorry. I know I got a Uncle Jake voice.
Loud and boisterous.
I know. But that was the thing with us, is that I had put myself in a position to where I didn't like who I was.
Yeah.
And I basically sat down and I said, okay, well, what are the things that I just don't like about me? Mm-hmm. And some of them were, I'm just going to be completely blunt here and completely upfront and honest. Some of them were appearance-wise.
Yeah.
I didn't like the way I looked.
Yeah.
I didn't, because I was clean shaven and I hated that.
Mm-hmm.
I had short hair and I hated that. Mm-hmm. And I was overweight. Mm-hmm. My skin was horrible. Like I looked in the mirror and I just didn't like who I was looking at. So I changed what I was eating. Mm-hmm. I started, I changed back and forth eating.
As you all know.
Yeah, I'm not going to say I just started.
On our constant diet journey.
Yeah. But, I stopped shaving. I stopped cutting my hair. Mm-hmm. And now when I look in the mirror, I see me. And it makes me happy. It really does. Because, your personal appearance is important to some people. And if you look in the mirror and you just don't like who you see, there are ways of changing it without going drastic and, getting plastic surgery or anything like that. Like, there are little things that we can do. I think it comes down to, it's okay to want to help people, but do not make yourself a people pleaser to where you are unhappy.
Right. You are nobody's salvation.
Exactly. Like, you have to live your truth first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can't save other people. All we can really do is be a light in this world and be a good example, which is what I've always been taught, but I see it more clearly now. I want to be a good example. I want, if people look at me and say, hey, you know what? She lives life to the fullest.
Yeah.
If she wants something, she goes and gets it, and she's herself.
Yeah, 100%.
I think I'm going to be like that. But don't be like me. Be yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Just the me that makes me happy isn't necessarily going to make someone else happy if they're like me.
Yeah.
You got to be you.
But coming back to, be who you truly are. That's what's really cool. But honestly, if you are struggling with any of these, there are so many ways to seek help. Mm-hmm. And if you don't have any resources, if you can't find any numbers or anything, email us and we'll find the number for you. Yeah. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just that easy. You can email us at jakeandchia@gmail.com. Mm-hmm. We can't help you, but we'll at least give you a resource, because that's what we just want. We all want to be blessed. We all just want to live. Life is hard. Let's just try to get through it together.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Speaking of getting through things together, we have some people to thank.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you to the Patreon blessed ones.
I know we say it all the time, but for those of you who help us out on Patreon, thank you so much. We love you guys. We love just the support that you give us and the help that you give us. And really, it does help us. It helps us, with equipment. It helps us know that there are people out there that like the show, which also helps us on the mental health check-in. So thank you very much. And we just want to give a special shout out to Pam, Jared, Fawn, Shan, Rachel, Lindsay, Danielle. Thank you all for what you do. We love and appreciate you. And also, I'm just going to throw Kate on there. I know she's not a Patreon supporter, but she helps us out on behind the scenes with a lot of stuff. Yep. So, and of course, Michael. I mean, thank you to all the blessed ones that that help us just stay blessed. I love, sometimes I feel weird whenever I'm like, thank you to the blessed ones, and I'm just like, it's fun.
It's so cultish.
I know, but I like it.
Thank you, blessed ones.
I love doing it whenever we're talking about Patreon too, because I'm like, thank you for the money you've given us. You are truly being blessed because of this.
That's right. Really, they're blessing us, but the way we make it sound is like.
But I call them
many blessings to you, and the more you get, the more blessings you'll get.
I love that we do it right after the mental health check-in. So it's just like, you be yourself. Now give us money, and we'll make sure that you are the best you you can possibly.
May he who walks behind the rose bless you.
Malachi. You're gonna wake the baby. Oh, man.
This kid's gonna have nightmares like, what is that sound? What is that cackle?
Kid's going to have nightmares and be like, what's a blessed one?
She'll grow up and be like, I had these repressed memories. I think I was put into a cult for a few weeks. We're talking about being blessed.
They just kept saying things about be yourself. That's what's really cool. Give us money and you can be a blessed one too. I don't know what the deal
I
is.
just keep having these dreams.
So anyways, thank you to Patreon supporters for blessing us.
Oh, Lord.
Okay,
We're not a cult.
Well, I'm
Shoot,
working
that's
on
what
it.
cults say.
Yeah, cults always say it. That's why I'm embracing it. We're a cult.
We're a lifestyle.
We're a lifestyle. We are a religion.
I didn't go that far.
You bought like a flowy robe too on vacation. So
And
like,
there's a bathing suit cover.
oh man, I'm just gonna start wearing robes. Let's get to the topic of the show, shall we?
And now, time for Tots. The topic of the show.
Okay, it's no secret at this point. Topic of the show this week is
Vacation.
Jeez. Station.
Station.
Yeah, it is Ruble Family Vacation 2021.
Yes.
We didn't have one in 2020, did we?
We tried.
We tried, and then puking kids and
Yeah.
such. So, we went to, let's not talk about this.
So we went to Myrtle Beach. So last weekend, Jake had his shows. And then Sunday
okay?
night. Yeah. Yes, I'm fine. Good, I'm fine. I'm chill. I'm fine. I'm cool.
Did you just do the Hades thing from
Yes,
Hercules?
I did. I love that you got it.
I'm married to James Woods.
My hair went from red to blue real quick.
Whoa, was my hair out?
It's such a good movie.
We're so stupid. We're like, we like spooky movies. We like horror movies.
Call
Okay, so I had my shows. I didn't have shows. I did a guest spot on Dusty
Yes.
Slay shows.
Yes. But
And then Sunday night, we packed. Well, Sunday we packed up and everything. We left super late Sunday night and drove to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Now,
yeah.
Myrtle Beach, South Carolina is very important to us. It's a very sweet place to us because, okay, so a little recap on our vacations. I never really went on vacations growing up, ever, that I can remember.
And I did.
My dad lived in Raleigh, North Carolina for a while, and I went and stayed with him while he was there, but I don't really count that as a vacation because he lived there. So,
Right.
And I got sun poisoning and blisters all over my entire body, and it was the worst pain I've ever really been in.
And
so.
your mom was not happy.
No. So, anyways, looking back on that, how did he let that happen?
I don't know.
Because I'm like, come over here. Let me put some more suntanning on, or suntan, anti-suntan.
Sunblock.
I call it suntan lotion while we're on the beach too. I'm like, gee, we hand me that suntan lotion, and you just don't even correct me anymore. You're just like, it's right here.
Yeah,
Used to be,
sure.
you're just like, it's
Put
blonde.
on.
So-
You're not getting tan. Put some more on. See how that works.
Our first vacation was in 2010, right?
Yeah.
Because Jasmine was born in 2009.
Yeah, 2010.
So it was in 2010 we went to Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Pigeon Forge, whatever, it's the same thing.
Pigeon Forge.
So
That's
we
where
went there.
stayed.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
we
that
went
was
there.
one of my favorite things because I wanted to go on vacation with you, and you were like, yeah, well, we'll see. And I was like, no, I already paid for the cabin. I paid for this dinner and show. It's going to be great. And you're like, yeah, well, we'll see. Something will go wrong. And even driving there, you kept saying it. And then we got to Tennessee. So we were like maybe an hour and a half from our cabin. You're like, okay, we're in Tennessee. We're really on vacation
Yeah, I got
now. And
really
I'm like,
excited.
we have been on, like, the moment we left, we were on vacation.
Yeah.
But, we got to the cabin and it was a good time. It was me, you, and Jasmine, and Holden in my belly.
Jasmine had her first steps. She took her very first steps on that vacation.
Yes.
So I always tell her she learned to walk in the mountains.
She did.
And she likes that story.
Yeah.
She thinks it's cool. But it's kind of true.
Yeah. And
So-
that was a very So by that time, we had been together. We've been married for almost 3 years.
Yeah, so
we've
been together
for five.
5.
And that was when our relationship took a big turning point, and we started really making these steps to get to know each other
Well,
better.
I just decided that I think I like you.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 years.
I
I'm
think
like,
we'll
all right.
stay together.
No, but that is true. Like it was very important for us because, because I felt like we really became a family on that vacation.
Yeah, we got away from everything else, and we were able to focus on just us.
Yeah.
And I think that's why vacation is so important.
Do you remember on that vacation though, like us going out like late at night and getting in that hot tub and getting all like mommy and daddy in the hot tub, and it was fun because it was like in the dark and everything. And then the next day, like there were so many cabins like close to us. Do you remember that?
I do. I do.
And it was like, oh, I
And
didn't know
now-
they were there.
Now, like, that I'm older, I'm like, but how well did they clean that hot tub? Did they really drain it like they said?
All
Like,
right,
I
let's
didn't-
not get gross. So, anyways,
I'm just saying, like,
so that was our first family vacation, and it really did mean a lot to us, and it really did, like she was saying, like it made it to where it was just like, oh, we're a family, like we can be independent, we can do this, we don't have to have all the noise and the confusion around us.
Yeah.
And we made it kind of like important for us to take vacations after that.
Yeah.
So the next year, we went to
Myrtle Beach.
We went to Myrtle Beach.
yeah, me, you, Holden, and Jasmine. I was not pregnant.
Yeah. So we went to Myrtle Beach.
This was really
stayed
important to
in-
us, too, because your dad had a stroke.
Yeah.
And as soon as we came back from vacation, he was going to go from the nursing home to live with us.
Yeah, so we were like, let's just decompress. Let's go
Yeah.
get some peace. Let's go get, let's go get centered. And that's like, I knew I loved the ocean. I'd been to the ocean a few times in my life before then,
But you hadn't been in it.
but I hadn't.
Oh, well, you had,
yeah. Whenever I was with Dad in North Carolina,
Yeah,
I did.
that's right.
Because I got sun poisoning.
Yeah.
But like this is the first time as an adult, like I'd been to the ocean and
Yeah.
everything. And I remember one night, like I just went out by myself on the beach, and I just sat down and just watched the waves come in.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, this is how you get recentered.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just, it was just peaceful. And
Yeah.
I carried that peace with me for a while. Because like looking out in the ocean, like you just realize like, oh, all my problems don't mean anything.
Right.
Look how vast this
Yeah.
is. Look how huge this is.
Put things in perspective.
Yeah, it's just like these things, no matter what happens tomorrow, if I come back to this ocean or not, these waves are still rolling in.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't really matter. So that was a really important time for us as well.
Mm-hmm.
And again, our family had grown, and we're on this other vacation, and it's just like I felt like it was just kind of solidifying us together. It was like gluing us together. Like, hey, this is
And
our
by the
show.
way,
This
we
is our
always
thing.
drive. So we've always taken our kids on these
Yeah.
long drives. And so the very next year, we went back to Myrtle Beach. At this point, Roman was 5 weeks old.
Yeah, he was only 5 weeks. And that time, Chia's family went with us. So
Yeah.
her sister Amber and her kids and her husband came with us, and then Kim came with us. Chia's mom, she came with us, and then did Will and Caitlin come with us?
Yeah.
So Chia's brother and his wife came with us too. So like Chia's whole family pretty much came with us on that vacation, and it was a good vacation. I'll be honest, I would have preferred us to just be my family.
Well, that's why I like the idea of going on a big vacation with family, but I think it's important if you do that to do another vacation with just your family
Yeah.
unit, because it was great. We did get some alone time,
Right.
which we hadn't had. Like, my mom and sister watched the kids, and we got to go out on the beach together for a while.
Yeah, that was definitely cool. That
But
was
we
nice.
didn't. I did not feel that connection as
Right.
our family unit. And so
Yeah.
the very next year we went to Tennessee, and again, all those same people went with us.
And the same thing happened. It
And
was
yes,
just
it
like
was nice
it
'cause
was
we got
great. It
some
was nice,
alone
but we didn't
time.
feel that like
That connection,
that
yeah.
bonding experience
Yeah.
that I felt like that that I really wanted and that we kind of like needed.
Yeah.
So then we did the Myrtle Beach. Then we went to we went back to Tennessee, And then we didn't do a vacation for a couple years.
Yeah, we was broke.
Well, we were broke, but also I wasn't excited to go on vacation.
Yeah.
And I think it's because the last two we went with like big families, and I love our family and everything,
Yeah.
but we're not the family that we never get to see each other. Like
Right.
we're also
And
with our
that's true.
family a lot, so I don't feel like
it's
we
fun
need.
to go, but
Yeah, I didn't feel like we needed that, but
think-
we needed. I felt like we just needed to
Yeah.
go, and like we needed to reconnect.
Like this
so we
year-
went like what 5 years, I think, or something. No, we didn't go 5. How many years did we go? We went a few years.
wait, that was 2012, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We went 4 years without one.
So 4 years without one, but again,
And then
it was hard time financially for us. But that's not an excuse because the first year that we went, we were the poorest we've ever been.
yeah.
So we just made it
Yeah.
work. So so then we went
2018.
and so then we went to Disney World.
Yeah.
So
And we
took
did take
his-
my mom there.
Yeah.
And that was great.
Yeah, but again, I mean, I felt fun about that because it wasn't like your mom plus 2 other families and their kids.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm saying is like, and it doesn't matter who it is. Like,
Yeah.
luckily it was with people that I really really liked and loved to be around and
right.
everything. But because it was so vast, it was just like, okay, well now we can't really connect. But whenever it's just like your mom or my mom,
Yeah,
I
because
still
in
feel like
2019 we went with your mom
To
and
Disney
brother,
World,
and we
yeah.
went to Disney. I think we kind of feel like we have to be on too. Like
Yeah.
we've invited these people on our vacation. We got to make sure they have a good time.
well, that's how you feel.
Yes, that's how I felt.
I don't.
I do feel.
I'm just like,
I
I
feel
don't care that you're
responsible for
here.
everyone's enjoyment
Unrelaxing.
and happiness. So, and then 2020 we were supposed to go on that short vacation and we didn't. So this year we went on vacation and we're actually going to go on another vacation. It's going to be to Disney in the fall, and my mom and sister and her kids, they'll be going.
Which is fine.
Which is fine. And we kind of talked about this. Disney is a great, great time. But Disney's we
not a
are
vacation.
busy. We
Disney's
are
not a
like
vacation.
insanely, like
Yeah.
our feet are hurting, and it's like
Disney's a
working
trip.
to have fun. Yeah, it's a trip.
It's a trip.
It's a trip, and I love it. Oh, I love Disney so much. But
Yeah.
this Myrtle Beach, it was
This was a vacation.
mellow.
This was so needed, and that was one thing that I made perfectly clear before we went, because we were like, well, where do we want to go? And we talked about going back to Tennessee, and I just told Chia, I was like, you know what we need is we just need the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, if we go to Myrtle Beach, we don't have to make plans to go to dinner and a show, or, you know, we want to go do this on this night or this on this night. I was like, because we'll have the beach.
Yeah.
And also, I don't want to spend a lot of money right now. So let's just go. We'll go back to the resort that we stayed in before, and
we always stay at the same resort.
yeah, which is like, it was definitely different this time. But we'll get into that in a second. But, you know, I was just like, I just want to get into this relaxation feeling of not needing to worry, not needing to stress, not needing to plan. And I was like, let's just have a vacation. Let's have a relaxing vacation. So we packed up Sunday. We left at like midnight. And we drove almost straight through. I stopped at one point and did take a nap. I took like an hour and a half nap at one point, and then me and Chia switched, and then she drove for about 2 hours or so, and then we switched back, and I finished driving the rest of the way. It's only about 12 hours from here.
Yeah.
So really not that far of a drive. So we get in, and it's just like I remember, like I even spotted it from, you know, pretty far back. I was like, oh, there's a resort. Cool. So we get in, we check in, we park in the parking garage, we walk up to our room, and it's like the moment we get there, I'm just like, this is not as nice as I remember.
So we could definitely tell how run down the homes our homes were never awful, but they weren't.
We were poor.
Yeah.
Like, we
So
were
there-
poor.
there
We didn't
were
live in
some
the nicest places.
Definite wear and tear on the homes we lived in previously. So
Mm-hmm.
now walking into this, we're like, oh.
Yeah, it's like, because before we would go stay in this place, and it was like, oh my gosh, this is so much nicer than our
And
home.
it's so cheap. Like,
Oh, it's cheap, all right.
it's cheap. Yeah. Now, for the price, though, it's not bad. We paid a little over $500 after tax for a 5-night stay. It has a full kitchen.
It's right on the beach.
It has
2 rooms.
2 rooms. You have a living room that has a couch and a Murphy bed, and then The other room had like 2 full-size beds.
Oh man, I love that. We had separate beds.
Yeah. So the first few nights we did sleep next to each other, but then Jake got a bad burn on his belly.
Yeah.
And he's like, babe, I'm worried I'm going to like roll over and brush up against you. So I slept in the other bed, and it was like we were having a sleepover.
We made jokes about it at first. We were just like, this is going to suck, like not being able to sleep next to each other. And then like we're laying on our sides, like in the beds with the space in between us, like giggling and like making jokes. But then we slept, and I woke up the next day and I asked her, I was like, was it weird not sleeping next to me? And she had this look on her face, like I could tell she wanted to be like, it was really nice, but she didn't want to come out and say it. And I was like, I liked it.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I was sleeping next to you. It was just a bed next to you.
Yeah, I just liked it because I could just like
it was
sprawl
like
out.
Totally 1950s TV land style.
Oh man, yeah.
Great.
Yeah, we never even pushed them together.
Nope.
Yeah.
We didn't get all risque like that.
No, so, but we get into these rooms, and like whenever we first get there, it's like paint's chipping. There's like, there's a couple of like oven mitts that are in there that are just caked in whatever someone cooked.
Looks like some pizza sauce.
And so just like, all right, well, we're gonna wash stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. I've stayed in worse. I didn't feel gross staying there or anything like that. I mean, it's fine.
Sure, the outlets were a little weird at first, but we figured them out.
Yeah.
And sure, there was that one vent cover that kept slipping off, but it was fine.
Wait, what? Was there a vent cover?
Yeah,
That's where they put
on the
cameras.
balcony.
Oh, that. I thought you meant like a vent in the wall. I was like, well, did you check it? Because that's where they put cameras. Did they
No, I mean, honestly, if there's a camera, go for it. What a show. I mean.
Why is this fat guy scratching himself again? Like, this married couple's not even sleeping in the same bed.
People are like, all right, some action. And then, you know, we got like our
snoring and
jams on, and
I'm watching Child's Play, and I'm like, Chia, come here.
I'm getting undressed, and they're like, ooh, and then I bend over and let one
And
rip
they're like,
because you know I'm gassy. I'm in my 30s. I've had 3 kids. I'm gassy.
Man. So that was one thing, actually, speaking of being gassy, that was one thing that whenever we got there, we ate, and I don't even remember what I ate, but I ate something. And it didn't like, it didn't like make me feel sick. I was just so bloated. It just like I felt full, but like I wasn't eating. So, and I felt like that the whole time we were there, unfortunately. So, even though like we ate at some great places and I got to taste some really good food, I just didn't feel like eating really, which is usually one of my favorite parts of vacation is the food.
Oh, I love food.
So we know.
Big surprise.
Yeah, surprise. So yeah, that was kind of a thing. But the nice thing about it was we didn't make any plans. This is the first vacation we've ever went on where we.
Yeah, I usually make some. Okay, like
she
gonna have fun, but we gotta eat dinner here this night.
She is the itinerary mom. Like she's the one where whenever we go on vacation, she's like, okay, 7:00. We're going here, like she schedules it, which is great for me because I don't want to do that. But I asked permission that this time could just be my style. Mm-hmm. I was like, let's just go and not plan. Let's just go. So like, you know, whenever we first got there, we went down to of course we like, you know, unpacked and everything. And then we went down to the beach so the kids could check the beach out. And did we go swimming the first day? I think the kids went swimming.
Yeah,
we got in it. It was cold.
Yeah.
It was still pretty cold. But, you know, we just kind of hung out on the beach for a little bit. And then went inside. And then the next day, I think, did we spend the whole day on the beach the next day?
No. So Tuesday is when we went to the bookstore. Yeah. And we went and checked out the boardwalk. So the boardwalk would be cool if we weren't in a pandemic.
Yeah.
We were walking around the boardwalk towards the side of the ocean, and it wasn't too bad. And then we decided to walk around the shops, and on our way back, walk the street side.
Yeah, which is where all the shops are.
It
was just packed with people,
and like, because when we walked up the ocean side, we didn't have our mask on because nobody was around us. Yeah. So we just kind of had them in our hands walking. And we, like, walk around, and there's all these people, and Jake's like, put your mask on, put your mask on.
Well, my thing is like, it's not even really, I mean, yeah, COVID, but it's not even about that. It's just, I have never liked a big crowd of people.
Yeah.
I always feel gross with a big crowd of people.
Well, and with
So it
the
just
kids, it
wasn't
makes
fun.
me nervous too.
Yeah, so it just wasn't fun. So we just went back to the beach then, and then the next day, Wednesday, we did an entire beach day.
Oh yeah.
So I told the kids, I was like, all we're doing today, you guys have the entire day out on the beach. So we just stayed out there, and that was the day I got burned.
So, I've been spray tanning, and I went and got a good spray tan before we left. So when we got to the beach, I lathered the kids up with sunblock. Mm-hmm. And then me and you got down to the beach, and we laid out for maybe an hour, and then we put sunblock on, and I guess we should have put it on.
I don't know. I felt like I put quite a bit on.
I guess we should have put it on right away because both of us got burnt, and then the kids got burnt even though I put sunblock on them and reapplied it. I guess I didn't reapply it enough.
But also, we're on a beach.
And we're fair-skinned people.
I'm not scared. I ain't scared of no beach.
Fair-skinned people.
Beach, you don't scare me. No,
I told that beach.
So yeah, my skin got spicy. Like
it was spicy.
My skin got spicy, and it was pretty bad for a while. Like it was for the rest of the time. Like it still kind of hurts a little bit, and that was a little bit of a bummer. And I really tried not to. That was the biggest thing. Is like I tried not to get burnt. Like I wasn't down there very long. I applied sunblock, and it just didn't really work. So next time, I just think we just need to get stronger sunblock or something and just put more on. But regardless, it was like still a good time. We just hung out down there. Then we went inside for a little bit. We got in the hot tub, and we sat in the hot tub for a little bit. And I liked the way that they did it because they were constantly cleaning the pools and the hot tubs in there.
Yeah.
Like it was they would clean like section by section, and they were constantly like filtering it. And so like it felt clean.
Yeah, and the nice thing about like
so clean
like the hot tubs is they have like smaller ones where really when our family was in it, there wasn't room for anybody else.
Yeah, they had like multiple hot tubs like all over the place there. So that was pretty nice to be able to like just kind of.
You know what I really liked about that day is
what?
how much I read out on the beach.
Same, yeah. Like that was why I read so much is because we just sat out there and just read. And then
some of us finished books.
Shut up. And then we that night I cooked I cooked burgers that night, right? Or was it the next night?
Yeah, you cooked burgers that night. The night before is when you cooked the chicken.
Yeah. So yeah, I
burgers
cooked
and hot dogs.
Yeah, I tried to cook while we were there so that way we didn't eat out every single night. So
Yeah.
I just went to the grocery store and got some stuff.
Oh, Walmart was 2 minutes away. It was phenomenal.
And it was green.
Yeah, so
Like,
the outside
not
of
blue.
Walmart is supposed to be blue, and the people who work there are supposed to wear a blue vest, and this place did it green, and I don't know why.
It wasn't a superstore though. It wasn't like
No.
a super Walmart, so
No.
maybe that's why.
I don't know.
Maybe only
Freaked
super
me
Walmarts.
out.
Yeah, it was definitely
Maybe it's
weird.
the southern thing. I don't know. But keep your Walmarts blue, okay? That's all we're asking.
So, I mean, we really didn't do a whole lot. Like we did the next day. We did like a
Thursday, since we all got a little lobster collar.
Yeah.
We decided not to go to the beach. I think that was the night that at midnight we went down to the beach, so the kids did get in the water. But we went to it's called Broadway on the Beach. Mm-hmm. It's like this big shopping area, and that was a lot of fun.
that
we
was
went
cool.
into some
Yeah,
shops.
yeah, we did. Excuse me, we did. Well, first of all, we went to this beef jerky shop there, and we got crawfish beef jerky, and it's the best beef jerky I've ever had in my entire life. Yeah, we were gonna get more before we came back, but then we didn't. I'm sure they have a website.
Yeah.
I'm buying more.
Yeah, it's right there.
But yeah, we did. So we did that, and then we went to we went to see Simpsons in 4D.
That's
It was like a
fun.
little Simpsons cartoon. They did in 4D, and my kids love the Simpsons. We all really do, but the kids really love
Yeah.
the Simpsons. So that was super fun. And we did what else? Jasmine got like
So Jasmine seen a pearl store, and she was like, "Oh, that's my birthstone. Can we go in there?" And we said, "Yeah, sure." And Jake's like thinking about maybe getting her a pearl necklace or something. And there was this tank sitting there, and this guy was like, "Have you ever been in our store?" And we said, "No." So apparently, you can pick an oyster out, and he'll open it and reveal the pearl. And
yeah, there's different colors that you
Yeah.
can get of pearls, and basically like the pearl you don't pay for. It's just if you buy the jewelry, he'll put the pearl in the jewelry and you pay for the jewelry.
Yeah.
So, so Jasmine was like really into it, and she was being super good about it too. Like she wasn't begging or anything. She was just like, just the look in her face was like, oh, I wish I could do this, but it's probably too expensive. So I was just like, you know what? Let's do it. We're on vacation. Let's all have fun. So she picked one out, and she got the black pearl, which is supposedly the most rare pearl, is what the guy said. They call it the mermaid pearl. And she picked like this little owl necklace, so the owl is kind of holding the pearl. It's really pretty, and she loved it. And it wasn't too expensive. It was under
like
$100,
$60,
so yeah, it wasn't too expensive. Definitely worth it. So bought that for her, and then we went to Dave and Buster's. And
we'd never been to Dave and Buster's.
Yeah, we'd never been to Dave and Buster's at all. But oh my gosh, it was so much fun. And that was another place like, yeah, we're in a pandemic and everything, so you're kind of thinking like, oh man. And that was the whole thing we were thinking anyways, like let's go to the beach and we'll hang out on the beach. Like we won't really go around a lot of places. Because, you know, regardless of how you feel about things right now, I'm just trying to be responsible. You know what I mean? There was like people constantly walking around behind people cleaning games. Like they were doing a
everyone
great
had
job.
their mask on the whole time there.
So anyways, we go there and like it was a kid in a candy store for me. I mean, the kids had fun too, I'm sure.
Oh no, they had a blast.
Who cares about that?
That was a cool place though. I've
Yeah,
never been.
like we're definitely going to be going to more
We spent
arcades.
a lot of money.
That's probably what we spent the most money on while we were there.
What I loved about that though is like they give you a card and you load your chips onto a card, and then you can just scan the card, and then your tickets go onto the card, so you're not walking around with a pocket full of coins and tickets and having to count the tickets or find a ticket counter.
The thing is, like we go in there and they have like a Halo arcade game set up. They have Mario Kart arcade games.
But the thing that's cool is like we could play like as a family. Like right away, the very first thing was like this.
It's like a Hot Wheels
racing game, and all 5 of us played together.
Yeah, it was really cool. I won.
Oh, whatever.
No, Roman won actually.
Yeah.
I let him win.
No, you didn't.
Swear to God, first time I ever let my kids win at anything.
That was nice of you.
I know. I wrecked on purpose.
Oh.
I just, I love them.
I know. I was really trying, and I did really bad.
Well, I just figured it was vacation.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's let the little guy win. But you know what my favorite
He's
game...
going to hear this one day and hate you for it and be like, that was a defining moment in my life.
If that's a defining moment in his life, I already failed. You know what my favorite game was there?
What?
Guitar Hero.
Yeah?
I've not played Guitar Hero in so long.
Played with Jasmine.
I wrecked her. I got 97%. I got 97. I hit 97%. You were so amazing.
Oh my God.
Here's the deal.
You're a real guitar hero.
I really am. Here's the deal. It's been, I bet, 10 years since I played Guitar Hero, at least.
Yeah.
And it came right back to me. I instantly, as soon as we got back to the hotel, I started looking up how much those arcade games were.
Did you hit that whammy bar?
They didn't have one on there.
Oh.
Yeah, but it was, you can buy the Guitar Hero arcade game for about $6,000. I'll buy one day.
One day, maybe. Yeah. We'll see.
I'll do it.
We'll see.
I'll do it.
Okay.
What was your favorite game that we played?
I've never played this game before. It was Halo.
That was fun, wasn't it?
That was fun.
Yeah, that was really cool.
I don't think I'd like playing it on like an Xbox or something.
No, like I liked sitting in the.
Yeah, and so 4 of us could play at a time. So me, Jake, and Jasmine were playing while the boys were next to us, playing another game together.
They were playing Marvel Champions.
And so when they got done with that, I gave one of the kids my seat, and that was another nice thing about it is, so 3 of us started, but there was 4 seats there. So one of the boys took my spot. And then our other kid, he got in the empty chair, and I just scanned the card, and he was automatically in the same game as everyone else.
Yeah, we spent the most money on that game because we kept it continuing. And
stuff. And you get ready to die and be like, need more coins. So I was just like...
running around.
I was like scanning everyone. I'm like, go, hit start.
It was really fun. I wanted to keep playing, but I was like, well, we need to get to some other things. But yeah, like, and then we played like Cruisin' World. We played. They had a Mario Kart driving, like you sat in the driver's seat and had the steering wheel and the brake pedal and the gas pedal and everything.
That was cool.
Yeah, that one was awesome. Played some of the fair games like basketball and stuff like that. That was in there. The boys played air hockey.
There were some motorcycle games.
Me and Jasmine played. What was it, Land of the Dead or something like that? or Left 4 Dead. We played Left 4 Dead.
Yeah,
the zombie
game.
That was really fun.
There's a Jurassic Park game.
Yeah, and then there's a Ghostbusters game. The kids played Walking Dead.
Yeah.
There were so many good ones.
There was Aliens. You guys played Aliens.
Yeah, me and Rome played Aliens, and then we played Time Crisis too.
Yeah.
Time Crisis, I liked the memory of me playing Time Crisis back in the day more than I actually liked replaying it now. But it made me want arcade games so bad. Mm-hmm. And I always talk about how I really want an arcade game. But now, like, after getting a couple or playing a couple, I'm just like, now I really want to get some.
Yeah. And we didn't eat at Dave & Buster's, so we just played the game. And then we left the shopping area shortly after that. And we went to a seafood place.
Yeah, we spent $200.
All you can eat seafood.
So we spent $200.
This was so cool. So we haven't been to a buffet in forever for obvious reasons. Yeah. So we're going to a seafood buffet, which I know most people are thinking, oh, that's kind of sketch. Well, it was because of the price. I wasn't worried about how the food was cooked. But going up to a buffet.
Not only that, there was not very many people there because everyone that walked up, they were like, it's $43 a person. And they were just like, I'm not spending that, and would walk out. So it was almost empty. And then the only way you could get up to the buffet at all was you had to put on like a hazmat suit. You had to have your mask. You had to put on gloves.
You had to put on your mask, and then they had gloves, so you had to wear gloves. And I was like, that's really smart. Yeah. And then
and they weren't like sending stuff out to where it's like piled up. Mm-hmm. It's like there was only a couple things out at a time, and they were constantly bringing more stuff out, so that way like a bunch of people wasn't messing with the food that was out there. It was like they'd bring some out, a couple people would get it, and then they'd bring more out. So yeah, I mean, I think
it was worth the price. I mean, there was steak, there was crab legs,
and at this point, like, there's been a bunch of people who've been vaccinated, hopefully, and like we are. I hope, like, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel and everything. So, you know, I don't feel bad about just trying to get back into the world at all. Like,
I mean, you gotta take precautions, but you do have to start living at some point.
So at this moment, I was feeling the worst on vacation, though. At this point, like, my stomach felt the worst. I was very bloated. I just was not feeling good at all. I'd taken a couple pills, and they just did not help. Which I've talked about it before. Like, I do have a little bit of stomach issues. Like, I'm a little bit lactose intolerant. I'm not like crazy, but I try to be smart about it. Like, I can have a little bit of cheese and stuff, but I try to just be smart. Anyways, I was feeling the worst, which sucked because this was the best seafood I've ever had.
So good.
Like, it was the best shrimp, the best crab, the best fish. Like, all of it was so fresh. It was all so good. Like, I could see why it was so expensive. Holden wasn't really feeling very good either. Like, once he started eating a little bit, I think he freaked himself out because he didn't think he'd ever had shrimp before. But I have given all the kids shrimp because I wanted to see if any of them were allergic.
Right.
So Holden ate some shrimp, and then he's like, "My throat feels weird." Or no, he said, "I feel a little dizzy." And I was like, "Well, how's your throat feel?" And he's like, "My throat feels fine. I just feel a little dizzy." And he's like, I think it was the shrimp. And I was like, well, you're not allergic to shrimp. And he's like, are you sure? So he kind of freaked himself out, like thinking, what if I'm afraid of,
and then he started saying his throat felt weird.
Yeah, so I was already feeling like my stomach kind of hurt and stuff because I just wasn't feeling good. So me and Holden just went outside. And you know what? That was one of my favorite times on vacation.
Oh, really?
So me and Holden was out there for what, a half hour by ourselves probably?
Yeah.
So
I finished eating.
Yeah, which I told her to. I said, you guys stay here and finish, like, get our money's worth. You guys all pig out. And they did, which is good. But me and Holden went outside, and we sat down on this bench, and we were kind of sitting there, and I'll be honest, I pulled my phone out. As soon as we went outside, we sat down, I pulled my phone out, and Holden's like, you got any games on there? Like, as a joke. And then I was like, nah, I don't really have any games on my phone. And then I kind of like looked over at him, and he was just kind of sitting there. And I was like, you know what? Like, this is a great opportunity for me just to connect with my son.
Yeah.
We don't get one-on-one very often.
Yeah.
So I put my phone in my pocket, and I'm not saying like I deserve like an award for like putting my phone in my pocket and just being in the moment.
Way to go, Dad.
You know, I'm not saying that by any means. I'm just saying, like, a lot of times I wouldn't have done that. I just would have just been like, all right, now we're just going to sit here and wait. Hold on, bud. Hold on. You know, we're just going to wait. But I was like, no, I'm going to take this opportunity. So I put my phone in my pocket, And then I said, we sat there for a second, and I was like, you having fun? And he's like, yeah. So we had like a little talk, and then it got quiet, and I go, something yellow. And he goes, what? And I said, something yellow. And then his eyes got real big, and he started looking around. So we played the whole time we were out there for like a half hour. We played I Spy.
Aww.
Like the whole, and it, like we were cracking each other up. At one point, he did my glasses.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, how am I gonna guess my glasses? So like, he didn't got to the point to
you
where
can see them. They're right in front of you.
I asked him. I was like, "Can I see him?" And he goes, "Kind of." And I was like, "Wait, what?" So we had a lot of, that was one of my favorite parts of vacation, was just because I did feel like me and him connected, and I had that moment with Jasmine too at one point, because the night that we all went on the beach, you guys kind of walked ahead of us a little bit, and I kind of walked a little bit slower, and I was just kind of like looking around, and then Jasmine was staying with me, and then at one point you guys had walked ahead, and we were just standing there, and she kind of put her like arms around me, and we're just watching the ocean. And I just took that opportunity, and I told her like what I felt like that first time that we went. And I told her, I said, I want you to remember this moment. I said, I want you to watch these waves coming in. I said, you need to understand that no matter what you ever go through in life, these waves are always going to be crashing right here on the shore. I was like, I know that may not mean anything to you right now, but hopefully one day you'll understand that the world is a very big place. And sometimes we worry about things that honestly don't really matter, because no matter what happens, no matter what we're going through, these waves are always going to be crashing. And she just kind of like looked up at me, and she was just like, "That's really cool, Dad." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, she got it."
Yeah.
Like I didn't think she would. I didn't think she would get it.
Becoming such a person.
Yeah, she like understood it, and so like that was a nice little moment that I had with her too. And then of course Robin, like me and him had multiple moments where we're just joking on each other and stuff.
Yeah.
And, but it was a great time. Like
I loved it. I needed it so bad. It was just the perfect break for me. Just a lot of family time. Got to read a lot, relax, not worry about when I was gonna get up. Yeah, it was nice.
Yep. And then we came home. Yeah,
craziness right away.
Yeah, but it's fine. You know, we're happy. We're happy with the way things played out, and it was nice because the day that we left, it was like kind of nasty out a little bit.
Yeah,
it wasn't like raining, but it was
overcast,
cold and windy.
Cold, and it's like, okay, this feels okay. To leave.
I was like, we can leave the beach. Yeah. Like if it was super nice and sunny out, I'd be like, oh, I don't want to go. But I was just like, no, we can go ahead and go home.
It wasn't like a perfect beach day.
And honestly, like the ride home, we were like halfway home. I think we were in Tennessee at some point, and I just like turned the music down, and I told the kids, it's like, you guys, thank you for being so cool.
Yeah.
Like you guys were all so good all vacation, but also you sit in the car for 12 hours at a time. Yeah. And are just great kids. Like, you're not complaining, you're not whining, you're not fighting. And there is a little bit of that, of course, because they're kids. It's, so they have a little bit of that. But for the most part, they just enjoy the ride. And it's probably because their whole life, pretty much, with the exception of a few years, they've always been on long car rides. Yeah. Because we do that. Yeah. Which is why I am excited to be a comedian that, will have to travel and be on the road. Because it's like, that just works. Yeah. That's just what we love to do.
I love going on car trips.
And I just, like, at one point, we stopped to get lunch and went through a drive-thru. We went to Bojangles, and we all got some chicken, and then drove. Chia was like, were you just going to park in the parking lot? And I was like, no, I kind of have a feeling. And she's like, what do you mean? I was like, I don't know. I just have a feeling. I was like, I'm going to find a cool spot. So we pulled out, we drove down the highway a little bit, and then I just took this random turn on this road.
There is a road off to the right that like looked real calm and old. And so he drove down there, and I said, oh, are you going to just park on that curb right there? Because I figured he could park in the grass on the curb, and then we could get out and sit in the grass and eat. And he said, yeah, probably.
Like, I just kind of have a feeling.
We got to the curb, and he was getting ready to pull off, and then we looked around the curve.
And it was a dead end.
It didn't say like dead end.
Yeah, it went
but
like
it was
straight
dead
up.
End.
It went straight up to a gate, and the gate went like pretty far back
into the woods.
And then there was like a big cell phone tower or something there. But it was just like Yeah, it's just like a little lane that was went into the woods just a little bit, and then so it was like the trees were covering it and everything. So I just pulled the Jeep back there. We got a couple of blankets out, which we bought 4. I think we bought 4 Baja blankets or beach blankets while we were there.
Whatever they're called, they're great.
Yeah. Some people call them Mexican blankets. But yeah, we just pulled back there and we got a couple of those blankets out. We put them down out right behind the Jeep, and we just had a little picnic right there.
It was perfect.
Yeah. And the kids loved it. We just got to stretch out for a minute. And then yeah, we just we came home, and yeah, I was just like, I feel so good. Like, I just feel so blessed that we're able to do that, A, and B, like, I get along with all of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
no, I definitely do. We can all...
I enjoy all your company.
Yeah, I enjoy your guys' company.
Yeah, so that was our vacation talk. Hopefully it didn't bore you guys too much. We had a lot of fun.
We had a ton of fun. I'm sorry that it caused us to miss out on talking to you all last week, but hopefully you'll be understanding.
Yeah. All right, so we love you guys very much. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the love. You can follow us on social media at Indiana Ruble or Facebook, Jake Ruble's Blessed Ones, jakeruble.com, all the fun stuff. Don't forget about Patreon. If you want to throw us a couple dollars, we'd really appreciate it, but you don't have to. We're still going to do this show. So we love you guys very much. Hopefully I'll catch you at a show soon, but in the meantime...
Take care of yourself and each other.
Oh, Jesus. That's you can't just say that. It's a trade.
That's a trademark.
It's a trademark. Jerry Springer's going to sue us. If Jerry Springer, I'll tell you what,
listen,
I'll write a check.
I'll say for services rendered, it'll be okay.
That's what I was going to say. I swear to God.
Just always remember to laugh and be blessed.